We're Dr. Doolittle. It's cool.
Dr. Doolittle.
We're good right now.
Welcome back. It's the Jeremy Mills Podcast. And today, my guest, we just got to get into it. There's no other way to do it. It's Proofing the Play.
What's going on with it, Jeremy?
Good to see you, man.
I appreciate you even letting me stop by.
I appreciate you coming, man.
A fellow sports enthusiast. I don't want to call ourselves like reporters and podcasters.
Right.
I think we're just sports junkies that love the game a lot. That's about it, I think.
They'd just be lucky enough to be doing projects,
right?
Working with it and creative.
Lucky enough to see NBA players and stuff. That's pretty dope, right?
I don't take that for granted at all. You were talking about before the podcast, you're a military brat, so you were moving around. Yeah. What kind of places were you at?
Guam, Australia, Japan. I moved to Florida. Got a scholarship in wrestling and football. Kind of screwed it up not going to school. And my last stop was Italy. So I graduated from Italy, and I came back here to Seattle after I graduated.
So even from that perspective, seeing the Seattle basketball scene in all its glory, it's still impressive to you, and it still means as much.
Seattle basketball means a lot to me. I mean, like my dad gave me a Michael Jordan Nerf basketball when I was a little kid, and I just really fell in love with just sports in general. And then when I started moving around a lot, that was the way of me getting friends, was like everybody would pick on me until I got on the court or on the field, and then I was like even playing field. And so it was always sticking with me. But Seattle basketball has a great place in my heart. When I was going around everywhere, everybody really didn't know where Seattle was. They thought it was Washington, D.C. for a while, until the Sonics in '96, Then I got to toot my own horn. But Seattle basketball, when I got back here in '99, I was just a sports junkie, wanting to be on top of the stands watching basketball like I've always done before. But yeah, man, seeing Jamal Crawford play in high school, seeing Doug Graham play in high school, it was just phenomenal. I didn't even know what I would, it was history. It was just something I wanted to always be a part of, just going to the gym and seeing what was going on.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's crazy to me that you weren't always here. From my perspective, I don't know if you remember this, but I saw you at the crossover years and years ago, years before I ever even tried doing any of this stuff.
Right.
And you were cool to me. You talked to me and my brother. And
yeah, I remember your brother. Yeah.
Long time ago.
Yeah, that was a while back.
And so just seeing you doing your thing and just the knowledge and the history that you have, everything like that, it's crazy to me that you moved around and you weren't always here.
Yeah, I took it upon myself just to try to know the game. I felt like when I got here in '99, it was so much hype around basketball with Jamal and Doug Wren and Marcus Williams. It was so many array of people that was just so much of hype of Seattle basketball. I just wanted to know what the hype was, and I just felt it. I kept going back. I didn't really start doing projects and photography until I got a divorce, to be honest with you. And so, I was going through the white picket fence. Me and my ex-wife, I mean, you couldn't write it in the book better of how we met and got married and stuff, but it just wasn't the right fit for us at that point in time. So we got a divorce, and it was kind of a bad divorce, emotional divorce. And I was really at my wit's end. And being a sports junkie, people that love sports, you don't like to lose too much. And I felt like I was the ultimate loss. And so I went on a couple of dates. You know how you try to hurry up and get over it. And the lady, man, shout out to you. The lady that actually went on a date with me, she kept talking about her son and how good he was at basketball. And I was like, man, well, where's the tape? And you know how people have film and they got to go through 10 minutes of film to see one highlight. And I was like, well, why don't you send it to me? And I started editing it on iMovie. And that's what got my burning desire. I didn't even have a camera at first. I had nothing but an action Sony cam. And that's how it got started. She said she was filthy, and I started going to Rotary every Saturday because I knew it was in-house. And I kept going, I kept filming. And on a Sony action cam, you can't really see what you're filming. So it was really exciting for me to go back home and see what I got. And just kept progressing from there. And shout out to Phil Petty. His son, he's at St. John's. He just graduated. But he was like, yo, man, I need a mixtape for my son. And I was like, okay, I'll try. He said, well, anything. You pay me anything. And I said, man, I just want a camera because I can't do what I want to do. I can't figure it out, really. And, man, he took a chance on me, got a camera. And ever since then, I've been breaking my wrist, man, like really trying to be at everything because it's a real passion. And it got me away from my divorce. It kind of like, I guess I had to go through something for me to actually figure out my passion, my direction, and passion in this world, and my place in this world. And I think it was at a perfect time.
It was almost a necessary thing you had to go through to.
Yeah, but without my camera, I probably wouldn't be here talking to you, Jeremy. I'll be honest with you. I probably wouldn't be half of the person I am right now if it wasn't for my camera and me just really striving to try to better myself as far as camera work, video camera work goes. I never knew I was going to be Northwest ESPN ever, So I was just trying to get better and try to get better. And everybody else, like, shout out to my big brother Al Ward, left coast. They was always encouraging me, giving me words of encouragement, and then game for me to go forward, not to be on the bench. And I was always forward progress thinking. And I figured because I wasn't working for nobody, it was my own passion, I was going to try everything. And so I published a magazine. I went from publishing a magazine to doing a lot more highlight tapes. But I started knowing the kids a lot more personally. And so because I don't have a team either way. Everybody's my team. I kind of not want to predict games on who wins or loses. And every time I started talking to people in the gym, they were biased talking. So I felt like I was talking to the peanut gallery. So that's why I started doing my live show, was because I just wanted to get my expressions out on what I seen on the game, and then, let it be after that. Like, because there was so much biasness in everything else. I wanted to be totally unbiased about it and not hurt anybody's feelings, which sometimes you always have to anyway. So.
When you're out there talking, yeah,
right.
It's inevitable.
Yeah.
But you didn't go to school for any of this kind of stuff necessarily.
No,
so,
YouTube
like
University.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So what was it like in those early days when you're just sitting at that computer for the first time and you're, I guess I'm going to try this. I'm going to, let me try this function. Let me cut it here. Let me do that.
Like, that was that's how I fell in love with it, was trying to figure it out. Mm-hmm. Nobody can judge me when I'm in front of the computer trying to figure out something. I can create something that's my own. Never thought I was an artist before. I was always thought I was a sports junkie. I love sports. Mm-hmm. But I never thought of myself as being an artist until, people say, yo, you're good, or, yo, man, did you do that? And I'm like, yeah, I did, but I wasn't really trying to get judged for it. I was just trying to do it because maybe he wanted to see it himself. And when I started hitting functions, and then everything I wanted to do, I started to try to do it. Like, go to YouTube, that's how you do it. Well, let me alter it a little way to make it my way. And that's what made it fun for me. And now, to this day, that still was making fun for me, is trying to enhance what I have, trying to figure out some new creative ways of doing things. That's the best part of this whole ordeal, was just trying to find other ways of getting better, branding myself, which I never knew or never thought about.
You don't realize that's a huge part of it.
Right?
And
people say, well, man, you're good at branding. I'm like, well,
I wasn't always. Probably.
I wasn't always. I just tried it, and it was just like, when the live started, I didn't know people were watching me. So the first year I was doing it, I see the 10, 15 people are watching. Hey, how you doing? But I didn't really think people were watching until my barber was like, well, man, people are watching you, bro. I said, man, what, the 20, 30 people? I mean, maybe 15 people watching? I mean, ain't nobody watching. And he said, no, man, look, because I never look at views and stuff. And so he made me look, and I seen that was 500 or 1,000 views a day, and that means people are watching. He said, man, you're branding yourself. And I was like, bro, I don't know what you just said. I'm just doing it because I got tired of talking to them. And through that, I kind of, you know how your brain kind of triggers and says, oh, well, yeah, you just did it. Like, let's see if you can do it better than that. Mm-hmm. And so my whole thing, like, I am so, like, in love with the process more than the result, per se. Like, I love trying to figure it out as far as this whole what I got going on, like try to figure more things out. And I don't want to be stranglehold to somebody else's vision per se. Like I can combine with anybody else's vision as long as they see my vision. I think so many times people get into podcasting and get into covering sports, and then they want to go to some big company where they'll tell them what to do. And I think it loses passion for what you're doing. Because like some of these kids like Mr. All of the Above, Paolo, I've seen him since the 4th grade. Little Nolan Hickman, I've seen him since the 5th grade, 4th grade. You know, those are personal relationships, you know, and seeing them. I'm a fan of theirs. You know what I mean? But it kind of takes away from that when you get away and you start making it all about the business of it. And so that's when it's a fine line teetering in between the business of it all and the passion of it all. Like I want to make sure I remain passionate and still having fun at what I do, but it's hard because everybody wants to pull you and make you do it this way or that way. So.
Right, you could take a short-term victory, if you even want to call it back, go work for some big company.
Yeah.
But like you say, you're going to lose it. You're going to lose interest. I would lose interest.
Yes.
I would lose passion. Like you say, it's something
man.
You have a complete control of,
Yeah, I would rather somebody
creative.
sponsor it. Like,
right.
Yeah, go sponsor Proof and Jeremy's quest on a road trip of basketball.
Right.
Yeah, I would love to do that.
And let us do our thing.
And let us do our thing. You know, I think we would come up with a great project. Because our passion for sports and basketball in itself would be a lot better. You would see it come out in our project. I think so many times that people want to just get to the big time that they'll reach out and hold anybody's hand. And I think that, you know, for people like us, we have passion. And I think that passion needs to be forward thinking. In a sense of, you know, if you want to sponsor what we got going on, you see what we got going on, and that's great. But sponsor us and see what else we can come up with, because it can be so much bigger than what it is if you sponsor us, you know, or you say, well, how about you do this, or here's this avenue for you. So, you know, I think us sportscasters and all that, most people don't understand how much we actually really study at what we're doing. Like,
this is the fun part.
Yeah, this right here, just talking sports and talking, this is the funnest part of our whole day. Most of our day is in a computer,
prepping,
newspaper, calling coaches and other people that know that person, know the game, see what games being played, and then, you know, what's the game of the week. It's a lot of things that go into it. Like, you know, I still right now, I have a struggle with learning stats. I get mad when I don't know the stats. Like, especially in high school basketball, they don't have stats like that. So, you know, they only go with points. And I'm like, yo, I need a point. I need a rebounds, assists. Can you give me assists at least?
Right.
And, you know, and those are the things for a sportscaster that really tickles our fancy. We can't really do everything we want to do if we don't get all the information. And that goes to everybody that knows that we're covering sports and knowing give us the information. Make sure you send us the information, because if we got to search for the information and then we don't get it, and you might feel, you know, some type of way that we don't have it, it's because you didn't give it to us. So, yeah.
It's a group effort, man.
Yeah, group effort.
Absolutely.
Totally. Be on the lookout, too. I think me and Jeremy about to work on something big.
That's right. Breaking news. Breaking news. And on that note, though, too, and about being a group and everything like that, how important is it for people to understand that what you do, whether it's photography, talking about them, maybe photography more than anything, that you are putting a lot into this. You are donating your time. You're donating, you know, more than that. Yeah. And so maybe getting credit.
Yeah, I think it's the least we can do is to get credit for what we do. I mean, they shoot jump shots all the time. They put in their 10,000 hours. Well, hell, I put my 10,000 hours in too, and I don't think that I should be subjected to not get credit for my 10,000 hours, because I think I've been doing my 10,000 hours and plus more. And so just like they want to get credit for their jump shot or the way they defend, a sportscaster, a photographer will want to get that same credit. We want to be known as, you know, providing for the community, as well as, you know, providing shots for them. But, you know, I think sportscasters, myself, are such selfless people because we trying to get everybody else a shot, and most of the time we don't get that much of a credit for it. But you guys got to understand, just like you guys are sports junkies and y'all got your 10,000 hours, we have our 10,000 hours too, and we have to work diligently for you to even pay attention to us. So, we got to have a personality. We got to tell the right information. We don't tell the right information, we're getting ridiculed for it. It's a lot of things that go into it. But especially in our profession, we have to love it. We're not Stephen A's yet, but we look up to them people. We watch them all the time. We try to find our own phrases and things. But Seattle basketball in itself, I think it's being underappreciated. I think that more of us need to explain to more people how rich of a basketball community it is.
I almost feel repetitive sometimes, but I think it is, like you say, it's important for people to understand. I'm not just saying this, without meaning behind it. I personally have experienced. I've seen other people personally experience.
Like the basketball community here is, unlike any other basketball community I've ever been a part of. Everybody, you got basketball uncles, basketball moms, basketball cousins. Everybody knows everybody in the basketball world. And if you dribbled a basketball and was somewhat good in this state, everybody knows you. And it's still to this day, everybody will still know you. Like Noah Pepper, Elijah Pepper's little brother. Well, Elijah Pepper was a massive beast at Seigler. Scoring machine. Now he's at UC Davis. We have so many rich in basketball. CJ Elby, the shooter. I remember him in 7th, 8th grade, being a shy kid that can shoot from the corner. Now he's all world. I can't believe it. I always thought of him as my shooter, but just seeing these kids now in college, KPs and NBA, just seeing them grow as young men now, I'm shocked in the part. Ain't nothing better. Okay, let me. No, I ain't gonna calm down. Ain't nothing better than Seattle basketball. You got your New Yorks, you got your Chicagos. I hear y'all. It's cool, but ain't nothing like the West Coast, baby. And then we wanted the best in the West Coast, and it did it. I promise you.
It's special.
It's special, man. It's nothing like it. I can't even pinpoint what is special. It's just like everything.
You just feel it.
It's a feeling.
There's no word for it.
NBA players that are from here, they come here and they're normal here for us. Like some people like to take pictures with Jamal and Isaiah and Nate. But me, I'm like, yo, what's up, Nate? How you doing? We all in the gym. That's where we at. And that's where we meet. It's like a family reunion. Every time we meet in the gym, it's like a family reunion. Always meet, always greet. We always talk basketball. We talking about the next thing coming, what we need to do to be better. It's great. But I do want to tell you guys, man, y'all do y'all 1,000 hours, and we see your 1,000 hours. Just make sure you recognize our 10,000 hours. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We do it for the passion. We don't
Definitely.
Yeah. So you've been here a long time. You've seen a lot of things. I can
Yes.
say you've seen people from start to
goodness,
finish.
bro. It's been a hell of a ride, man.
What memory comes to mind first when I mention that? I'm sure it's just a bank vault worth of
It's
memories.
a vault. But I will say the 2016 state semifinals. Me and the guru, Bill Ellaby, player of the year 1988. That's my partner.
Shout out.
Shout out to him. We were broadcasting the 2016-2017 state championship semifinals. We were kind of doing it on, we didn't know what we were doing. I just had it live. It was just, live had just started, and I had it on my phone, and we were just broadcasting it.
Wow.
50,000 views later. The WIAA seen that we had that many views and told us we had to shut it down. That was my fondest memory because it was so much fun. Okay, wow. I'm talking Trey Simmons, the killer Trey was out there he was in Syria or something like that, crazy. Okay, everybody was watching. I couldn't believe it. I was in shock. I was seeing 10,000, 1,000 people viewing it or something. And you looking at the game, and the game was going all
You're being
crazy.
a host.
Yeah, you being a host, you being the game. BL Ellaby's over there. The game was great. Garfield was up third quarter. Rainier Beach got up. Then Rainier Beach won. It was crazy. And that's when Garfield had Fonzo, T. Brown. I'm talking, and T. Brown now, he at Seattle University. They had a team over there. John. They had folks. Jalen Noel was there too. Oh my goodness. I'm just saying, so icy Jalen. He's in Minnesota right now. I'm just letting you know we got ball players in the NBA. Okay, don't think about Jamal though. Right. Please just don't think about Jamal. Okay, we got more than that. Okay, and if you guys as a state have more than us, let us know. Okay, we will definitely say I apologize. I'll apologize if you do have.
Yeah, we'll go
likewise.
Live.
All right, live. I would go live and apologize if you got more than us. But yeah, I don't know. It's something about just this community and how passionate we are for basketball. And like when I came in '99, it was so much open runs here. I got to see Marcus Williams before I seen him in a game. I got to see him at Green Lake playing against grown people, and I was like, man, he's only 16. Are you serious? No way. It's no way. And this was before I was like really a sport. I was just a sports junkie. Mm-hmm. And big shout out to my ex-wife. I really appreciate you. Through this process of me becoming ProofnthePlay and all of that good stuff, I think we've grown as human beings, and we're working at a lot more. We're communicating a lot more. I think she understands my passion a lot more now, so we're way more communicative about and leeway about my passions, because she knows like the weekends is kind of shot for me. I mean.
Got a shot. Got to shoot you.
Man, I'm in the gymnasium. And that's what I'm saying about 10,000 hours. Most people don't really realize how many times we're in the gym. We're in the gym. I'm in the gym 5 to 6 days out the week. Wow. And that's just being there. Not even like taking film and all of that. I'm just being there, soaking up whatever's there.
That's an important part too.
Yeah.
That's a really important part too. Yeah. Just being there, soaking up the energy, watching without shooting or taking video or whatever it is.
Yeah, just soaking it up. Exactly. And I think this year at the Pro-Am, I did a lot more of that, soaking it all up. And it was kind of crazy, though, Jeremy, because it was so many cameras everywhere, right? And it was cool to me, like, you know what? They're going to get their shots they want. Mm-hmm. I can sit back and relax and really soak it up.
Because the shots will be there.
The shots is going to be there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I can sit back and really soak up things and try to figure out another thing for another project or something else for us to enhance or to make sure you guys know how important Seattle basketball is. Like, I've had so many ideas in my head, but I just don't have a team to go through it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, I want to have a Road to the Dome documentary of going through one team and really seeing it all the way through and seeing how close they can get to the Dome. You know, we have a Seattle basketball documentary, but I don't think it went extensively. And big shout out to him for doing it. It's a great documentary, but I think it can be so much extensive because it's so many ballers.
Because when you mention Seattle basketball, that's such an important. If you're doing a documentary, I haven't seen it, but I'm sure that's a crazy weight to hold. There's such a story to tell.
Yeah, it's such a story to tell. There's so many stories within the story. I think Seattle documentary can't be just an hour or two. It'd have to be more than that. And I think our 30 for 30 stories would be pretty dope, pretty amazing to see. You know, the Doug Wren story of how his story all took place. He was our first real recruited athlete, like top prospect. You know, UConn was never coming up here like that.
And what year was this?
97, 96, 97, 98. So, you know, Doug Wren was our first highly recruited athlete, basketball player. Jamal was too, but Doug was like, listen, man. Doug was like, you remember Michael Porter Jr.? Mm-hmm. He was on that type of level of highly recruited. Wow. He was that much of an athlete. He didn't have a jump shot like that, but him and Jamal used to go at it a lot too. And Jamal, big shout out to Jamal. You know, he's always still cool as a fan. As long as I've known him, he's not one to get real emotional. He's cool as a fan. And I remember him in 98 man, going to a Rainier Beach game, sold out, and he just put us on the show for the whole team. Matter of fact, Rainier Beach won the last state championship in the Dome. The King Dome, might I add. That's big time.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
when
big
you say
time.
the Dome, my mind went to Tacoma Dome.
Nah, see, we used to play at the King Dome before the King Dome got imploded.
That's why we need the proof and the play here.
Yeah, you know, come on, man. Jeremy and Proof might have to do something real big, y'all. Y'all don't know. We might have to. I personally love Jeremy just because he's always been like, yo, man, what you do? Well, some of everything. He was like, oh, word? Well, you know, I'm about to do this podcast. I was like, okay, cool, man. I'll see you next year then, right? And I've seen you grow. I've seen your podcast grow. Like, you've had all the ballers on here, man. I've seen a lot of ballers on here. Big shout out to Tony Wroten. He's doing his thing overseas now. It's a lot of people that you have interviewed that I've seen their progression. So it's like, man, I'm proud of all of them. Like, you know, I think it's more of a personal to me now because I'm a part of Seattle basketball. So everybody has a place in my heart, from like Shadid Shabazz going to Alaska. I'm pumped for him to actually be back on the court again. He was a little discouraged, and now he doesn't have to be discouraged anymore. Now he can ball out for real.
Opportunity.
Yeah, opportunity doesn't go away, man. They go to other people, so you might want to take heed of that opportunity. That's for sure.
But coming from you, that does mean a lot because, like I said, I saw you as this, and I still do see you as this pioneer of the media. Like, without you, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing.
Yeah,
you know what
it was a little struggle though. I ain't gonna lie. I think being when I started, it wasn't that many people. It was just Al Ward, and I didn't want to just do film. I wanted to do everything. I felt like I could do everything with my camera, so I might as well, right? And man, I got so much backlash, man. It was hard to get in gymnasiums at first. I just felt discouraged.
Why did you push past that discouraged feeling?
Because I wanted it. I wanted it that bad. I didn't want to not do something that I was loving to doing. Like, I was passionate about it. I felt like I was I was progressing in it, and I was developing something that was mine. Like, no one can take this away from me, like, type of thing. Like, during the divorce, you always get judged. Everybody judges you walking out the house. Nobody can judge me off my art. Like, my art is mine. You can judge it, but I mean, I have a right to give it to you, or I have a right to just save it for myself. So I never was an artist before, so that took some time to really get through. But I was determined to be better. I didn't want to just settle off with my last shot, so I just kept wanting to be better. And I got a lot of backlash the first 2 or 3 years. But they seen I wasn't going to go anywhere, and I was like a pest on the wall. Like, I was always in their face. So it was no choice. At one point in time, it was no choice, man. Let Proof in, let him do what he does. And funny story, that state championship semis I was telling you about? After that game, NFHS came and started broadcasting all the games. So, sometimes being an innovator, and the trendsetter helps someone else, not helps the trendsetter itself. But I'm glad they did it, because now we get to stream games a lot more. I got the broadcast games on there, so big shout out to NFHS. But that's the reason why they came, really. Is because me and Bill Ellaby did the semifinals and did way more numbers than they did. And so, like, because we did more numbers than them, they figured like they can get money off of it. So, hey, you can't do that no more, sir. No.
Proof will not lay down.
Yeah, I didn't lay down. Look, the WIAA knows my name too. They know my name too. And now it's more positive now. But I was like, yo, man, what is going on, man? Why you guys won't let me? And you got all these people that's in here that are covering it now, never seen these kids a day in their life.
They just have a badge from a company. That's all
basically,
it is.
Yeah, basically. Like, I have a real invested interest in this state tournament. Like, I got kids, like, I've seen kids, all of these kids I know. And most of you guys on that board don't. But in the same aspect, like, I got to respect it for their association. That's their thing. That's what they do. I will try to, respect them as much as possible. But in the same breath, I am going to cover these kids the way I think it needs to fit. And we are
not going away.
No, I'm definitely not going away. And we're going to definitely have dialogue about a lot of things. I think more or less now is people are afraid of dialogue. They're afraid of competition, and they're afraid of dialogue. Like, if we don't agree to something, then we just can't be friends, and we can't talk anymore because we have a disagreement on something. And I think that's very wrong. I think more of us need to be doing a lot more dialogue, a lot more talking about serious issues. Maybe we can come up with a lot more solutions to problems instead of just complaining about 45.
Yeah, because we're all like this community, the Seattle basketball community.
Yeah,
it's family, so we can have disagreements.
Yes,
family has disagreements.
Man,
I family think grows from that.
I think more the basketball players that's been around for a while, and like the Jamals and stuff, they're more subjective to dialogue. But some people aren't because they're so biased to one thing or another. And everybody wants to be right.
Mm-hmm. It's a great feeling.
It's a great feeling to be right. But I've noticed in this sports, we can't be right. Like, even if I go right down the middle, it still might be wrong because somebody's going to have an opinion about it, which is like...
It's like if you're gonna shoot, you're gonna miss them.
I mean,
you ain't making them all.
Like, who makes them all? Like,
but we're still putting them up.
Yeah, I'm shooting my shot, and I think I took that from basketball. Just continue to shoot my shot. I'm not gonna ever let nobody. I mean, like, I went through a divorce. This is nothing. You guys telling me no, it's nothing. So, like, if you tell me no, then I'll figure out another way for me to get this accomplished. And they kicked me out one game. I can tell you, they kicked me out one game, and then I started talking to the peanut gallery. Didn't like it. Went live. I went live, and I seen my effects of things. So I started complaining about what was happening, why they kicked me out, why they won't let me cover, but they'll let NFHS cover. I just don't understand that, right? And I got a call from people saying, yo, man, hey, chill out. You don't have to do that. And then I found out, it was effective, that I can affect people by my words. So I kind of now... I try to make it a little more important to say things in a non emotional way. Like, I don't want to put my emotions or my feelings towards something. If I do, I want to be very vague as possible. I want to just lay it out right there for all of us to talk about it. If you want to hear my opinion, I'll give it to you, but I don't want emotional things in that, because emotions bring bad decisions, I feel like, because you're making decisions off of your emotions.
Under the influence.
Yeah, under the influence of emotions.
Yep.
Yes. I love that one, Jeremy. Under the influence of emotions.
I've been there, trust me. So we've talked about what's changed over the years at the crossover. There's a lot more cameras now.
Yes.
There's just a lot more media, which is awesome. Love to see that.
Yes.
But what hasn't changed over the years? What's always stayed the same? From the Rainier Beach Vista games to
the
Seattle.
Community, man. We all, I mean, if you play basketball, if you like basketball, if you ever seen any of old ballers play, new ballers play, you got to be at the crossover. You got to be at least one or two. You got to be one weekend at the crossover.
If you're in Seattle and you like basketball and you aren't showing up to the crossover, I'll talk to people randomly on the streets, basketball fans, don't go to the crossover.
Yeah. And my thing was, because I thought about it. I was like, yo, man, maybe it's because they at Seattle Pacific is not right in the smack in the middle of the city, maybe. But I just think more people are in this microwave era of instant gratification. So they would rather wait until Instagram puts a video up. Some things might not need to be televised. Some things might just need to be exclusive. If you ain't there, you ain't gonna never see it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the
most fun part of the crossovers, those random moments.
Yeah, those random moments.
No big names are there. It's just these real Seattle hoopers.
When I love it best when it's not a lot of NBA players. I one or two NBA, some college players that want to show they bruteness. I remember Corey Crisper coming in the championship game, giving them 30, okay, and win. 30 in the win. Yeah, he goes to Gonzaga, by the way. Just letting y'all throwing that out there. But Corey Crispin coming, college players trying to prove their worth. I like that. I like youngsters going against older kids, older ballers. I think that helps them a lot more because if they can get that confidence with playing grown men, they can get that confidence with anybody, playing anybody. But I do think the crossover is great in the sense of having a place where all our basketball community can come and actually have some competition. I do think that we need to make sure that this community understands. I think we don't take advantage of it, and I think we're like, yeah, it's always going to be here. Mm-hmm. So we're like, I hit it next week, I get it next week, and basketball is always going to be here, and we got to realize and we got to maximize every opportunity to see basketball here because I don't think a lot of people have what we have as far as a basketball community. No. Not at all. Like, it's nothing like a Tuesday and a Friday. Like, high school basketball season starts here. They know where I'm at from Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and sometimes Saturday. I'm at a gymnasium. I'm gonna find somebody that nobody knows. Just because I feel like the people that are already known. I know it's at least 5 or 6 diamonds in the rough that we can talk about.
So I'm saying I went to a game last year. The game I went to was great. The game before that, amazing. A girls' game. Mm-hmm. Just passion from the crowd to the players fighting for everybody. That's basketball.
That's
basketball.
What I'm there
to see. Whoever's playing it, that's who I'm there to see. Is
yes,
that kind of basketball.
And you can see it in one kid, and then you can see, I went all the way to Olympia to see one kid, but he gave me everything he had, so I was satisfied. Most people don't. I do more things on a bus than most people do in their car, just because I love what I'm doing that much.
That's real.
So like, I don't care how I get there. People will care how they get there, the style points of how they park their car. Mm-hmm. I just want to be in the gym. So as long as I'm in the game, I'm fine. It's the point of everybody else trying to make a standard level of what I'm supposed to be when I get in there. You know what I mean? That takes away from it, but it'll never take away from me because I don't hear that too much. My passion came from a different place in all of you guys. So my passion will never be the same as y'all's. So I won't say I need a car in order to cover these kids. I don't need anything as long as we got the best transportation system in America. I can be all right.
That's right.
So little things like that, and I'll tell these kids, if I can do it. And I work this hard, you better be working this hard. Don't ask me for anything if you're not working that hard. Now I can tell how hard you're working by what you do on the field or on the court. So if you see me and you see proof in the play, don't see me as he's just a sportcaster. I'm working my 10,000 hours just like everybody else, man. And if you're not working your 10,000 hours, you're probably not around me too much.
It's passion.
For
There's
real.
one thing that I think about you, it's passion.
Yeah.
I think that everyone knows that when they see you.
Yeah. It's kind of cool.
Real.
It's cool, bro. Like that nobody knows my name anymore.
Mm-hmm. I had to ask you your name.
Yes.
And I don't know how many people ask you your name.
Not too many people ask me my name. It took about 3 or 4 years to just always forever saying. I wanted to make it so like. You hear Dickie V, you hear ProofnthePlay. I wanted it almost like that. And then I didn't want to be personal with everybody either. I don't think everybody deserves to be personable with me. So, ProofnthePlay is Northwest ESPN, but it's proof. I don't want it to be like, you want to be so personable with a person, so then they have to judge you. They just judge me off proof now. They don't judge me off my personal or what I am personally. They know personally I love what I'm doing, so.
Ain't no denying that.
Yeah, definitely. No denying. I'll be, and since we're talking about that, right? Because I know you got passion too, bro. You be trying to hide it a little bit, but you got some passion, right? What are your ideas on like some of the things that you want to do with this? Like, because you started and you like now it's grown to what it is now. What are some of the things that some of the ideas you have in your thought process?
Collaboration, like you said.
Yeah.
exploring the community. I want to work with people like you who are passionate. It's for us two not to do something together. It doesn't make sense in this basketball community. Not to. I feel like I'm almost tooting my horn because I'm putting myself with you because you're a legend in this thing. So
no, you are though, man. Anybody that works hard at it, and I can see those 10,000 hours, I appreciate a lot more. I think it's a lot of people that think that what we do is that we just pick up this microphone and
turn it on and go.
And turn it on, press record and go. And it's so much more than that. I mean, it's so much that goes into that. And I think because we're in a microwave era, everybody thinks they can just, put it in a microwave and set it to 2 minutes and wada bing, you're like us. And I think that's, you're messing up the game with that because everybody has to do their 10,000 hours. It's not one person that doesn't have to do that and just instantly a good. You can go off the God-given ability, but that's only for so long. I mean, you got to work at it as well. So when I seen you first to now, it's like a whole nother. Your confidence level was a little bit better. When we were talking, it was like you were a little timid, not trying to talk to so many, talking but not talking to people. But now, like at the crossover this year, you was talking to everybody. Excuse me, come here, sir. It wasn't like let me wait on him to cut his tape. He was like, nah, listen, I need you upstairs. Yeah, come on, I need to get right. Okay, so Jeremy is. I think both of us seen us grow. I mean, from the time you see me, I'm starting to get shirts now. Like I was walking
and
in
good
there.
shirts too.
Right,
with your own style.
Yeah, my own style. Everything is just like I don't know, man. It's just I just been having so much fun learning the process. But I think sometimes that it's hard doing it on your own. And
absolutely, there's some dark times.
And some dark times, and it's some times that you want to do something, but you need someone else with you. It's just hard, like.
And it's hard to find somebody that cares as much as you do.
Yeah.
To have your own thing. Do you know what that means? Other people know what that means to have your own thing and maintain your own thing?
I don't think they understand it.
It's
and then people want to like, yo, man, just come over here, man. We got you. We got everything hooked up, man. Just come over here. And I'm like, yo, bro, wait a minute.
Hold up.
We got to talk about this. Like, what am I doing here? Like, Proofing the Play is still Proofing the Play, right? No, you're going to be with here. Well, hold up. Now I feel like I'm working for you. This ain't a collaboration. Well, yeah, you'll be working for me, but everybody will know your proof. Nah, that just doesn't seem right to me. I feel more like with you, we know it'd be a collaboration because I know, like, passionately, I know where your head's at. And then, like, going forward, everything is the passion of what we're trying to go forward with. Most people just want to say, that good old Ponzi scheme. Let's hurry up and get this done so we can get rich real fast. And I'm like,
it ain't about
that. No, it ain't about that.
Ain't no money coming my way.
My bills are paid, okay? Financially, I'm all right. I'm not rich or nothing. I have a house, a roof over my head. I have a place to work. I'm okay. I think I don't want to put out nothing that I'm not okay with. Like I don't want to put out something that I'm passionately not okay, like passionately not cool with, or I see something that we can change or something like that. But I think that collaboration is like one of the biggest things I want to do now. But I want to collaborate and do something humongous, like
know what could be down the road.
A real our own first cake, our own type of thing. I got so many. We'll talk off air.
I was gonna say you're the Northwest ESPN, so it's about to get set up right
now.
Oh,
it's about to get done.
Best theme song in the business right now.
Hey, this is crazy. I didn't even think I was gonna get a theme song, but it's because when you go live, the first 2-3 minutes, people are trying to get in and stuff. And I was like, man, I need to get something to at least have a theme song. So he hooked me up.
Yes.
PN. Yay.
Yeah.
Proof is in the okay.
It's good.
Yeah, hey, we gonna get Jeremy a intro real soon here. Oh,
it's coming.
Trust me, Jeremy. It's coming. We collabing now, right? I just appreciate you asking me to come on. This is my first interview.
Wow.
So
how is that? See, and that's what I know. You're like me, and then that you're always featuring other people.
Yeah,
for other people yourself with that. So that's why I want to shine a light on ProofnthePlay. I want to shine a light on Terrell.
Yeah,
I want to shine a light on all of that.
Yeah, man,
because there's so much more than what you just put out. Like you say, there's a whole other bucket to scoop from.
A whole other bucket to scoop from. I think when you find passionate people that have the same interests in you, then that's like one step. And then admiring each other. That you have to admire each other to start moving forward with a project. Every project you've seen me, it's been me. It hasn't been like me and 3 other people or me or somebody else. Right. Like if I could find it to where I can film this and you can tell me an idea so I can film that and then we can come and see how we're supposed to merge it together, of course I would do that.
Mm-hmm. But like you say now, you're a producer, editor, writer, everything.
Everything. I've produced, published magazines. I want to go back to doing that. I just don't want to do that because it takes so much time to write it. I can get all the
to do a good job, to do something you're proud
of, right? And to get writers, everybody wants to get paid. I'm like, yo, I don't know about getting paid just yet. I'm paying for the magazine. It's just little things like that. I really want to start our own 30 for 30. I think so many athletes and so many people and so many stories that we need to tell that I think we're doing a disservice. And so I know all the current people and all the current highlights, and that's good, but the Fergusons of the world, and the JoJo Rodriguez's of the world, and the Marcus Williams of the world. I think those stories need to be told, and I think that it has to be somebody. It has to be within a group of people that really are passionate about this thing we call basketball in Seattle, and I think it would be great, but in the same breath, like I'm scared. Like most people don't understand, I'm a very cautious person. Like I do a lot of risks, but I do a lot of strategic risks. I'm scared of people's reaction of if it's good enough or not.
That's real.
Just because it's a product that I have my own, I put my heart in this. So for people to judge it or whatnot, it's like I look at it really, I critique it a lot. But it doesn't like personally bother me. I just critique it a lot so I can make sure I can figure out what I'm supposed to be doing. Like
once you did post that, then you're proud of it.
No question. Once I'm posted, it's a wrap. Once I post it, but I think that I've posted so many things, Jeremy. Like from pictures to video to sharing people's links. I just want to do something bigger now. I just I feel like I want to do something bigger for our community.
And that leads me perfectly into my next question, because that's 2024. That's 5 years from now.
Yes.
Where do you want to be? Where's Proof in the Play? Where's the Northwest ESPN?
Northwest ESPN in 5 years. Jeremy, this is the first time I ever did a 5-year plan. Just because I didn't want to, when I got into it, I just didn't want to water down and then lose the interest, right? But the interest I'll never lose now. But in 5 years, I will want it to be a whole network. So I will want it from podcasts to sports shows, to news, to everything. I want to do a live network of nothing but what we want to produce. The idea is there. The equipment is there. I just need to, have a team that's really willing to work at it. A network is hard, but I think a network can be doable. With everything that's going on in the Seattle basketball world, everybody that has podcasts and things of that nature, I think it's doable. I think it's way more than doable. I do want to have debate shows and have interview shows like this here. I want to have commercials on the network so local people can actually advertise their stuff on the network. So, I wanted to be bigger than what I ever imagined it to be. When I imagined, I just was just giving exposure out to people and learning my craft at the same time. I felt like I was in the game, and now it's like I want those 5 and 6 year olds and those 8, 9, 10 year olds that don't know anything about Seattle basketball, but they can find out. And I don't want them to just find out by highlights. I want them to find out by the people that actually did it. Like, the Lodrick and Rodricks of the world, and everybody that actually communicated, like played basketball here and actually made their mark here. The legacy didn't start with you young men, and it ain't gonna end with you either. And so, in order for you to be the best basketball player you can be, you got to go research and you got to go see why Seattle basketball is this way. Don't just think because you from Seattle that you just got it with that. It took a lot of hard work and a lot of people sacrificed for it. And so, it's a whole network would be dope. I think NFHS is cool, and I think a lot of other entities is cool, but I just think it needs to be for us and by us, and it means for people that love the game of basketball in the city of Seattle, and by us. I don't think a lot of people should be dictating what Seattle basketball is, because no one has dictated that before. So, or sports in general, golf, you can't really predict that or pinpoint it.
There's no box it has to be.
No box it has to be in. But I think it can help the community as far as business-wise goes, as far as
why advertise on something not national when you can advertise on Proof in the Play or the Jeremy Mills podcast?
And it's local, but it's like
grassroots.
Yes, and if you can. I think in a network, if you can not control, but if you can influence one state out of a time, just imagine if we had the network and it generated a lot in the state. If we could control the state, I think we could venture out other places once we got this under wraps. But I think that, getting a community, it took me 8 years for them to, 5 to 8. For them to take notice, and that's a lot of hard work, ground banking work, and I don't think a lot of people are willing to do that or about that.
No,
so in a 5-year plan, I really think a network is doable. I think interview shows and things of that nature, and documentaries and things, I think it's doable. I think it would probably take 5 years of really getting all the information and all the shows that we want and all the interviews to be combined together so we can put it on this network. But that's my big plan. I mean, I'm still going to be filming and taking pictures. I really still want to produce a magazine, publish a magazine still, sort of like The Stranger. Mm-hmm. But if I get it to where I could start a network like that and really give, everybody a chance to get on the platform and really produce whatever they want to produce, or, have their show in mind, it would be pretty dope. I think that all of us, as far as podcasters, we're everywhere. We're in so many different entities or so many different websites that, we have to download so many podcast websites for us to see some of our stuff. That we need a hub for our own self. And so that hub, just like you're doing it now, that hub would be, okay, Jeremy's every day at 5 or every Wednesday at 5, and that would be consistency. And that's another thing that really helped me was I was consistent.
Yeah.
I was very consistent and determined. And if you're not consistent and you're not determined to actually want to do it, you'll never do it.
Especially when no one's listening.
No one's listening.
You got to start, and no one's going to listen.
Because no one's going to listen
going.
For your first start.
Yeah.
Trust me, no one's listening.
You have to realize no one's special. You're going to have to work.
Yes.
As special as you are, you still had to work, and you still had to be consistent.
Dude, and I just knew I wasn't good enough. I still feel like, I'm just not good enough. It's so much more I can obtain and learn. Way more that I can attain and learn. But
it's probably because you have a more holistic view of everything. When you're starting, everything is...
Man, everything was like, whatever, man. I can do whatever, bro. What? You can't tell me I can't do that right now. What? YouTube just taught me yesterday.
It's almost I hear for a call for action, a call to collaborate.
Yeah, it's more like a call to collaborate. I think for me, it's just... You gotta you gotta evaluate a lot more building a team of that magnitude, just because you can't just have people the wishy-washy ones of the sorts of just wanting the fame, because this fame ain't gonna be fast.
And that's not what we're looking for.
Yeah, it's gonna
fame,
be a
not
5.
fame.
It's gonna be a 5-10 year process of trying to get it right, and then really trying to get it right, and then push it the right way. But I think
people that
it's
enjoy the
doable.
process.
I think, I enjoy the process more.
That's my favorite part.
Man, that's the favorite part. Like after this podcast, you put it out, I'm gonna see what first interview, it was all right. Maybe I should have stopped talking so much.
No.
Like that. I don't know.
That's why you're here. That's why we wanted Proof in the Play. We wanted that experience.
Yeah, man. But this has been like, I would tell anybody, man. I got it directly from that divorce really did something to me. And if I wouldn't have got my camera, I probably wouldn't have been. I know I wouldn't have been here talking about Northwest ESPN, Proof in the Play, anything. And so I would tell anybody, if you got a passion, if you find something that you like to do it wholeheartedly, man. Go all out for it. Because if you don't, you just another hobby that you got, and you just being a regular person. I mean, stand out in front of the crowd. I think most of us don't want to stand out in front of the crowd. It took me being at my lowest point to say, forget it. I'll stick out in front of the crowd and be a sore thumb. It's just something I want to do, though. And I want to tell everybody, man, if you got something that you like to do, man, go at it. Don't be like everybody else. Don't be everybody else's rapper. Don't be everybody else's basketball player either. Be your own basketball player, man. Learn those 10,000 hours. It means a lot when you study and really practice your craft. Because if you don't practice your craft, you're just going to be another basketball player. I wanted to say that to y'all because, man, I started from nothing. I had nothing. My divorce gave me nothing. And from that, a rose occurred. And it's Proof in the Play.
People who do want to find you, how do they get in touch with Proof in the Play? How do they watch the Roundup?
Okay, so the Roundup is every morning at 9 a.m. Monday through Friday on Facebook Live. Proof in the Play. If you look up Proof in the Play, you'll see it everywhere. There's only one Proof in the Play with the letter N. You can look me up on Instagram. I have Proof in the Play apparel, hoodies, joggers. I have basketball sleeves now. I'm just trying to do a little more stuff, so you can catch me on Twitter, Proof in the Play, my YouTube, Proof in the Play on YouTube. But for the most part, hopefully Apple. I do have my podcast on Apple Podcasts, but for the most part, man, the Roundup every morning at 9 a.m. It's like clockwork, man. It gets no realer than that. Hopefully, I get to enhance that a little bit more. Talking to Jeremy, picking his brain as well. But yeah, man, you guys can see me every morning. Roundup, it's like clockwork, man. On the Facebook Live, Proof in the Play, Instagram, Proof in the Play, Twitter, Instagram. Everybody, Proof in the Play. You know what I mean? I guess I'm a little nervous now for some reason.
No,
now that I ended it, I'm nervous at the end part.
That's fun. That's real, though. That's your Proof in the Play. You're in the building.
Yeah, I'm in the building. It's your main man, Proof in the Play, man. Northwest ESPN. Yeah, that's me, your main man, Proof in the Play. I'm here with Jeremy, and on his podcast, be on the lookout. J&P is coming. I just made a new show. Ha ha.